Hello, Sims. Welcome to the Past Podcast. I'm Maltesmer 2000. Robo is our second podcast host, but he's gonna be coming later. And today's guest is Culprits.
Hello, hello.
Um, well, we're all a little bit tired. I mean, I am tired personally. Um,
I got my
so
coffee
I
here.
don't know if
Morning.
this podcast will be. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying I have my coffee here from. I'm just.
Yeah, so
I needed this before we started, but
this podcast might be a little bit shitty. We never know. I mean, I'm really tired. My brain's going at like 1 centimeter per hour.
you and I
So,
both.
so yeah. Well, before the questions, do you want to tell us about yourself?
Sure, yeah. Hello everyone. My name is Zachary. Y A lot of people may know me better as Zachary 4653 or Culprits. I am a comp player. Uh, Yes, I am also a PF YouTuber as well as a Stylis game mod. Um, and I've been in the community for maybe about 3 years now, and yeah, that's just a brief overview of who I am.
All right. Well, is that it?
Sure. I mean, I don't really know what else to say.
All right. Well, let's go to the basic questions. You know the drill. So
Yeah.
when did you start playing Phantom Forces?
So I started, I think, back when the paid alpha first started. Um, I moved over from uh, a couple of other games. I used to play a lot of sword fighting, a lot of fencing on Roblox, and
Mhm.
eventually my friends moved over to Fan Forces back when it was in the paid alpha, and so I kind of followed suit with them, and I've been playing ever since.
Damn. So, um, do you continue playing PF?
Oh yeah, I still play. No, not as much as I used to, but I still do. I still do get on and join every once in a while. Sometimes PFMM, sometimes a bit in the leagues like SCL. I was a lot more active in CPFO back about a year ago,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm still
AKA the
around.
best mod of CPFO.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I did help moderate the CPFO for a while.
Yeah. Um, so since you continue playing Phantom Forces, what makes you continue
Well,
like playing it?
I say there's multiple things which keep me with the community. The big thing is probably that I'm a Stylis mod, so it's a part of my responsibilities to uh, make sure the community is clean and make sure that the game is still running. Um, but outside of Stylus, I'd say I stay with the community because of all the people I know. I've really being with the community for about 2 years. I've gotten to know a lot of people in there, and so I naturally hang out with them quite a lot. And they're still playing PF, and so therefore I join them, or I'm still relatively a big part of, or well, take contributing as much as I can to the community when I can. Um,
All right.
that
Well,
would be
that's
like
nice.
yeah, like SCL. I'm not as active as I hope to be. I usually am there more as a advisor, but that's also part of the reason why I'm still with the community is because of the comp scene and just being able to help out with the leagues and advise or help them. Mhm.
So, since Call of Roblox, yeah, the new one's gonna come out like, in 5 years. But
Mhm.
in 5 years, do you think you're gonna play it? Like, do you think you're gonna switch to it?
Well, 5 years is a while from now. I can see myself moving over to it. It looks more. I find that the way that it plays out feels much more like Bad Business esque versus PF, which I think is something which kind of keeps me away from really endorsing the game. Like I like the concept. I like how it looks. It's just that I don't know if I'm really into the mechanics yet. But 5 years from now, I think maybe I will. If the whole if everyone starts moving over towards the game, I might move over as well. But I know my roots still staying with PF.
All right. Well, that's good to know that you're the first one who says that. everyone else says, "Oh, I'm gonna switch to core." So
Well, I've never been much of a core gamer. I know before PF there was what was it called? It was core. Was it core 4 or core 5? I forgot.
I have no
But
idea.
I can't remember. But a lot of the old gen PF players moved from core over to PF, and so I can understand why they're very excited for the game. But me personally, I never really touched the old core.
Yeah,
I
I,
really
I've
started
I
with PF.
played core, but like I was like 10 at the time or like 11, so my memories of it aren't very clear, you know.
Oh, I never was on the website that much back then. I used to be more of a console gamer, and
Oh,
so it wasn't until it wasn't until uh, I guess about a year before I joined PF where I started actually getting onto the website and playing games.
all right. Well, now that we're done with the basic questions, let's go for like since you've played competitive, let's go for
Mhm.
that the competitive questions.
Sure. Yeah.
So, you've already explained, I believe, when you joined competitive, right?
hmm
All right.
Oh,
Uh,
actually, when I joined competitive,
oh
well,
yeah.
uh, I guess I joined competitive maybe about 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago. That was around CBFO season 3. Um, so I joined competitive off of uh, someone in the community called Bombastic Nation, as well as Diesel
Oh
Nation.
yeah, yeah.
I think you probably know him. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he
you.
wasn't those.
Yeah, he was the sniper for Toes. But this was around the time when I was about rank 200. Um, I ran into Bombastic during a public match, and we ended up dropping double 200, not double 100s in the game. And
Damn.
he asked me if I wanted to join Toes or join a competitive team, which I wasn't quite sure of since around that time to uh, I was starting to get into my last years of high school, and I didn't know if I was going to really commit myself to it. But uh, I said yes anyways, and that's how I met everyone in Toes, John, uh, and that's how the season 3 and season 4 roster sort of came about for me.
All right. Well, so were your previous teams only toes, or did you have more?
I had a few other teams I was in. So Toes was the first one I joined back in season 3, 4, 5. Um, I think after season 5, season 6, it's a bit blurry to me. I think I might have joined PR around that time, or SDX.
What is PR for the ones who doesn't know it?
Oh, PR is Phantom Rangers. So Phantom Rangers was a team run by Elite Bob. I
Alright.
think I think it's still pretty active. It's just it's no longer a comp team. But I think I might have joined PR in. No, actually no, that was season 8. I'm pretty sure I was with SDX and then later on Zen. It's all blurred to me after season 5. Sorry. It's
Oh, it's completely fine.
um I believe I started with PR in season 6 and then SDX season 7. SDX is Squadron X, and then we basically I basically ran a team with Suzuka and Blitz. It was named Zen Serenity, and that was in the later seasons. I think season 8 or season 9.
All right.
I'm gonna be
Well,
making a lot of mistakes when it comes to talk about comp history since I I don't really remember a lot of it, to be honest.
and in season 10 you were in gang, right?
Yeah, season 10 I was then in Gang, which Gang was basically accumulation of different players from a lot of the top teams. So that would be teams such as Aussie or Ford, PR, and a lot of the older teams.
All right. Well, let's go to another question since you've basically told all of the teams you were in. Uh, have you played competitively in any other games before instead of PF?
Not really, no. Before PF, I wasn't much of a competitive gamer. Usually, I'd be playing a lot in like public matches. So, before PF, I used to play a lot of Halo as well as Battlefield, some Call of Duty as well. But the only reason I play those games is just to enjoy the game or to just see how good I can do in a match. I never really thought about going into a competitive scene, or I never really saw myself in that sort of situation before, up until Comp PF.
All right. Well, that's a quick answer. Um, so since you've been in SCL, what's the top five best teams right now in Major?
Ooh, the top five best. Um, I'm not quite sure. I know the top two. I know the top two are going to be definitely Gang and Chaos. Both their rosters are really strong. Gang, everyone knows has one of the strongest rosters in the league. But I think Chaos with the acquisition of Pravda, which um, actually that was my previous team. I don't think I mentioned that, but that was the other team I was on up
Yeah, you
for
did.
season one of SCL for the qualifiers. But um, Chaos actually acquired a lot of players from Pravda once we disbanded, and I think that really boosts their chances against
Yeah,
a team
it
like
did.
Gang.
Like, I
Um,
think they got Bryce, which is
yeah,
which
Bryce I'd say would be one of the top picks from Pravda. There's a
yeah,
lot
right
of
now he's like right now he's like one of the top of the league, like
oh
for
yeah,
sure.
definitely. Yeah, like I would like Bryce. I'd say he's probably one of the best aggro players in the league right now. But then you also picked up other players like Duskia and Nathan from Pravda. Like both of
No,
them.
didn't Nathan like quit?
Oh yeah, Nate. That'd be Nate. I think
Yeah.
Nate did quit. I don't follow
Yeah, no,
too
Nate
much, but
is in chaos. Yeah, it's Nathan that left.
oh, I see. Okay, but
Yeah.
I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't look at the rosters too much, but I know Duskia is a really good anchor as well as Nathan if they still have him on the roster. And then they
Yeah,
also had
Nate
Nate.
is pretty good. I don't
They
know
also had
about Duskia. I
yeah.
mean,
They also had
Duskia.
Nate from
I know
PF.
Duskia's good, but like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm tired.
He has a lot of experience with the game. Just I'd say I think he mentioned to me before, but he with all his accounts combined, he's about rank 500, which looks
Yeah,
about
he
right.
is.
But I think with his experience in the game and just his general play style, he'd be a really good contributor for the team.
Yeah. But also, it's that Duskia isn't very known in the comp community because he just never speaks there. Like like any time of the day he doesn't talk in SEO. I mean, from what
Yeah,
I
he's not very. I'd say he's not very active in these sort of discussions in comp, but he definitely knows his stuff. And I also know is mostly because he's quite busy with IRL right now, like what's going on in his life. So I can kind of understand that. I'm kind of in a similar situation. Um,
is that it?
well, yeah, I guess so.
All right. Um, I'm gonna finish the comp questions, Robo, then you can start talking.
Sure.
All right. So
Oh, we're doing a bit of improv
this
here. No scripts.
no, we have like a list of questions, and then like normally I just highlight which questions he does,
Oh, I see.
I don't
but
even read off the
since he
Google
wasn't
Doc
there,
most of the time. I think it's Joe that does it.
yeah. So in your history of competitive, which like what top three teammates did you like talking? Okay, let me rephrase. So in competitive, the top three teammates you enjoyed talking to the most,
Top three teammates.
like you had the most fun with.
Oh, that's a good question. Because I know I'm gonna leave out someone, which like I have like way more than just 3 people I really enjoyed playing with. I think just kind of continue off here. I guess the top 3 teammates, I would say. Well, that's a really good one because I know like I don't really have an order of who I would list as the top as like one,
Just
two, and
name
three.
the names that
But
are coming in your head right now.
yeah, the names which come to my head immediately would be John, Bryce, Miku, or Suzuka. Let's see. I just say like a lot of the teams which I played with. So just in general. So Toes, Pravda, slash Zen, and
So you
Gang.
don't really have the top three.
I wouldn't say I have a real top 3. I just have a list of players who I really enjoyed playing with. I'd say
So
I could probably go into a bit more detail. So like for example, John. Um, John, I got to know him quite well over the seasons in the old seasons of CPFO. Um, I think he's probably the most passionate players that I played PF with during comp.
oh god.
He That's something which I don't see much of in a lot of players, but in the players that I do see it in, it's very motivational and very, I guess, it's it really keeps you in the game. Like for John, he was much more of a leadership type of person where he a lot of the times he gave the team a lot of sense of direction and kind of a drive to improve or to do better. And that's something which I don't see much of in a lot of the teams today, where it feels much more individual,
You
like
mean
a lot
like a
more feels a lot
leader
more like
figure? A bit of.
yeah, like
Mm,
you don't see much of a leader figure in a lot of teams. Some like not to say that these teams are not doing as well. A lot of the teams do perform very well on an individual level. But I'd say that that's what made Toes very unique is that it had a very strong leadership position
mm,
with John and I, and a lot more focus on I guess teamwork versus individual performance and skill.
yeah.
And I think that's what kind of elevated the team to how it got to championships in I guess one in season 4.
No, but you definitely have a point. And the current SEO teams, a lot of them are like they obviously have team reps, but that's not the same thing as the guy telling you when you're in the game, okay, guys, let's do this, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's it's I'd say that's something which a lot of teams don't really have nowadays is
Mm,
having that key central figure who drives the team and the one who keeps the consistency and
mm,
keeps the team performing and driving forward.
yeah. You can look at Gamers Gaming. Uh, they didn't have a real leader figure, but then Dangnam joined them, and he's
Yeah.
been like teaching them the game and everything, and they've improved already a lot because of that, because they had a
Oh,
leader
okay.
figure. Yeah, because
I can see Dakenom doing a really good job on that. I've for as much as I know Dakenom, he definitely has that very extroverted, very leadership sort of skill, which I
exactly.
think he can
Yeah.
do really well with.
And that's a lot of minor teams are like missing like all gen players joining them and teaching them the ways because right now a lot of minor teams are just only minor players, so they don't know.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
guy
and
telling them, "Oh, this is what you're doing wrong," or "This is what you're doing right," and there's no one also like motivating them as a leader. So.
yeah, and I think moving forward, that would be a really good direction that a lot of these leagues and a lot of these staff members should keep it or should be aware of is that if we want to keep the comp league going, if we want to have a strong comp integrity, we need to be able to lift up some of these minor teams,
Yeah.
some of these new teams which are coming in, and help them get to the level where they're performing against some of the top teams as well.
Mm,
Maybe that's a bit of a dream. Maybe that's bit of a far shot or a far cry, but um, I think that's something we did a bit of in CPFO is having some old gen players or teachers or aka mentors who could go into these other teams and help them improve if that's what they're looking for, if that's what they're trying to do.
It's hard to convince like good old gen players to leave their good team to join a minor level team, but
Like
It is.
what something that happened is that like in back when I was in TM, Nico was like technically a trainer, and then he started getting busy with in real life stuff. But
Mhm.
normally Nico would have actually like trained TM, aka the worst team back in CPFO season
Team
10.
Marines, right?
Yeah, the Marines.
The Marines, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dangnam's idea in the podcast we did with him was like that every team, like minor team, had like a coach of some sort, like not
I think that
exactly
would
a
really
player.
help. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's that's something which I saw a bit of in CPFO. I did a bit of that as well back when I was still in toes. So I think this was season 4, season 3, but no, season 4 and season 5. We had a few other teams joining the league. One of them was Antebellum Militia. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one, but Antebellum
Okay.
Militia was a team run by it was Assassin Bear, legit car with a gun. I'm pretty sure you
Oh,
guys know who legit is, yeah.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
they
I
also
do.
had like other players who have been around for a while. So SG Runner, um, Dior Thug or AKA Vandrum. Uh, it had Lightning Raven.
Oh,
Um,
Oh yeah, Lightning is in the team.
yep, Lightning Raven. I think he's one of our management staff right now.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was the team where they all that as far as I know, that's where they started at. And I took and I can't forget Crazy Colin. I can't forget Colin. He was also performing as a team rep for the team. But yeah, they were just getting into the league, and I was helping them out with some strategies. I remember this kind of pretty vividly, just on rig and like just talking about what they can do on certain apps like rig. So like secret spots they can use to uh, get to their positions faster. But that's something which I feel that a lot of the leagues now should
Mhm.
focus on is that they should have someone who has a lot of experience in the comp scene in the community reach out
They
to
really
some of the
should
teams.
because like me, I mostly had to learn on myself, which actually is what happened because I first started I was really bad,
Mhm.
but and there was no one
Still
to train
is.
me except like Super Des. But Super Des wasn't like actually saying anything. It was just like, oh yeah, I'm here to do practices with you guys, and that's it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
practices most of the time because like it was useless because like it wasn't really fair because most of the team I don't want to actually shit on them. It's just that they weren't the skill that would help me get better. So I had to all like learn on myself with matches, like how players move, how players do stuff.
I see. Yeah. Yeah, and
And
I feel
well,
like that's
yeah, go
something
ahead.
which we as a league can do a bit better on is that we should be able to invite new players and help them get to the level where they want to be. Just that could be something as simple as just giving some tips or just or going through some practices or lessons. But we could I feel like that's something we could really do to really really improve, I guess, the scene's integrity.
Yeah, and that's actually a good idea because like me, it's because like I don't want to say like I'm better. Like I learn quickly. That's why I managed to be like to get better with just looking, with just playing.
Hmm.
Most of the players in minor probably don't have that. So doing that might be like 10 times slower for them. So just maybe like having a trainer, like a retired any retired players out there that used to play comp and weren't like garbage could like go in their teams, start training them to become better players.
And I feel
Otherwise,
like
it's gonna be like old gens that are gonna be really good, new gens that'll be really bad.
And then the new gens will leave, and only the old gens will stay, and then the community is a lot smaller. So
It's gonna
that's
be, and
that's something
SCL's
which
gonna
I've been
change. And it's
that's
gonna
something
go
I've
back to a
can you guys
player-based
stop cutting out
league.
each other, please?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just very this is
It's
just a
fine.
topic which I'm really passionate about because this is something which I've always been trying to drive home in like CPFO.
What were you gonna say?
But sorry, like I'd like to have Machismo talk a bit more. Like you were saying?
No, yeah, I was done talking.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this is like that's something which I've really been trying to explain a lot is that if you have a lot of the older players in the community just kind of just kind of continue to play, but if you don't have an open community or a community which is welcoming to new players, so
Mm.
for example, getting them to where they need to be to perform with the others, or just in general, just I know this has been a bit of a struggle for the comp scene for a while now. It's been toxicity, and a
Yeah.
lot of and there's always been a lot of like suspicions and accusations on others or new players on like cheating, which for the most part, like a lot of some of them have been pretty well founded, but there's that general sense of, I guess, critical like criticism, or not criticism, but more like uh, unwelcoming towards new
Mm.
talent, which I find will eventually, in the long run, hurt the comp community. Just sorry, I have like family talk in the background here, so oh yeah, but in the long run, I feel like not having a community which is open or welcoming to just the general community or newcomers
Will not
will
want to
eventually
make anyone
damage.
join.
Pardon?
Well, it won't make anyone want to join. This, like, when back in CPFO when I was still making my team, I wanted to make like I wanted to invite top players to pass, but most of them either said no because there isn't like a prize pool or because or it's toxic,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
that's the sort of
that's
sentiment
a
that I
big
see
problem.
in a lot of the general community too. But
So, well, I
yeah,
just
that's
hope they actually fix that, like the toxicity. They say they like Division has said they really want to, they will try to,
oh yeah,
but
like
still don't see any efforts. Like, I don't want to actually point fingers towards someone, but like I've seen during a scrim against Chaos, someone joined and started being like really toxic, and it's a player that's currently in the league. And yeah, I did not really like that. So I just hope they actually can fix that.
Because you
Also,
mod are definitely the person we should be looking out for
no, because there's a
non-toxicity.
difference between, listen, there's a difference between actually being toxic in a way to like be mean, like shit on someone, like being seriously shitting on someone because of skill,
Mm.
and joking around with someone, like calling them trash, but without any reasons, you know?
yeah, and I feel like don't get me wrong, I feel like I know SEL's goal is to remove the toxicity and
Mm.
such. I know I've seen it behind the scenes, what they do to really to really I guess break down on all that. But that's the sort of general, I guess, opinion that a lot of people in the community see, and I feel like that is a bit of a detriment to just the whole comp community, which um, I know it's going to take a lot of time and effort to reverse or to fix,
Mm.
but I feel like that's the sort of direction that we as a league should go towards.
The thing
Yeah.
is with toxicity, like within the SEL server, there's very little to none. But you can, and then you're like, oh, it's not that toxic. But then you move on to stuff that's related to SEL, but not as in like associated with SEL, like
Hmm.
PFMM, for example. It can be very toxic. I know that.
Oh, it can, yeah.
I haven't experienced it firsthand, but I've heard stuff. But stuff like that, or like even like within like a team Discord, like someone else team Discord, there's like lots of toxicity towards other players as well, and like it's also like as much as you can as like you can try and police all of it, but the thing is, it's also the people themselves need to realize at some point, that being a twat isn't useful to anyone. Like there's a limit to it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and you
true.
have a lot of different personalities in the community, which
Mm.
they tend to clash, and sometimes everyone's there for different reasons. So sometimes people are there to have fun. That could mean like talking with others or just trolling in
Mm.
general,
Yeah.
or people are there to compete or to
Yeah.
get or to really like I guess be in a community where they can have a challenge or to win or gain recognition, and all that blend together really makes it quite challenging to
Mm.
uh, I guess create a community which is not toxic or create a community which
You
can foster everyone.
you can never create a community where no one is toxic. No, even like the
Yeah,
nicest
that's
people
true.
will
But
eventually like say something mean. But yeah, the thing is like as long as the main server is like fair, not that toxic, I feel like it should be fine for the most part. It's just mostly new players aren't that great. I'm also a new player, so I feel like I'm allowed to say that.
yeah,
But
but it's the majority of new players.
Well,
yeah,
I would say that a lot of new players, I think they have the potential to really perform well. It's just that they
they
don't.
don't know how.
Well,
I mean, they
not,
have potential. Like every new player is that the moment you get in comp, if you're not like Overlord, you have potential. But
The
but
fuck.
no, I mean, there's a lot. I think from what I've seen in the community, there's a lot of new players who I think actually perform very well, and
Mm.
they have like as long if they got an understanding of how the comp works and just the general strategies and such, I think they can really find themselves in a tier one position.
I feel like it's
tier
also
one is a big shot.
let's
But
start with
like,
tier two, yeah. But
yeah, let's start
Yeah,
that. Let's start with tier three.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but I'd say there's a few people who I think have the potential to really go up and become one of the best in the
I mean,
community.
for example, Robo is one. He's a new gen and he's like already really good. Which imagine if he plays a little bit more, maybe he will get
And
even better.
like a few names I can think of here, like um, there's Tenub. I think
oh
there's
Oh
yeah.
yeah, this guy, oh, he's really good.
I've
Like
heard
he's
I've heard a lot
top.
from I've heard a lot from others in the community about him.
Mm.
About he uses the executioner in competitive games a lot, which I can really respect. Like I love using guns like the executioner and XAX. So
Dude,
props to him.
one time I accidentally had the executioner equipped in our match versus Alla Gaming, and I didn't realize. So I was pulling out expecting a Tech 9, and then I see a revolver pop up. Got like 4 headshots in a row with it though, which was epic. But then I had to switch back to Tech 9.
It's a very satisfying
It
weapon.
is
Yeah,
very satisfying, yeah. Guns like that.
and I guess there's a few others like it's Pichu. I think you guys probably know Pichu.
Oh,
He's not a new gen, is he?
no, he's
Uh,
from
I'd
season
say he
11.
I'd say
Like
he's
very
relatively
beginning.
new. Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's
he's beginning season 11.
he's
Okay.
been he's been also a really good aggressive player. Somewhere along the lines of like Bryce and Andre.
The few
But
times I played with him, I thought he was really smart, like, in how he played, so.
yeah, he plays it very pretty tactically, but
Hmm.
he plays it in a way where he can really push for objectives,
Yeah, but
and
it's
he's usually
like,
up in your face.
what's the name? It's like tactical aggression or something? Something like that. It's
I
not
know what
like
you
dumb
mean. Yeah,
aggression. Yeah, it's not like no brain, all aim,
it's
run
not
into them.
reckless.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot the actual
Yeah,
word for it, but whatever. Let's move on.
and then the last person I guess who immediately comes to mind is uh, uh, I think
Me,
he's
of
not even like
course.
rank 100 yet. I think he might be actually Bad Consumer, aka Deb.
Don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know him, but I've seen him a few times in PFMM and some public matches, and I think I just the way just observing how he plays, I think he would be a bit of a underdog in terms of how he performs. he no one not many people know too much about him, but I'm gonna say it first here, but I think he's probably gonna become a tier one player if he continues at where he's going and just continues to climb.
This is where he goes to shit and like never becomes good.
This is where knock on wood. This is
Goes
where
on
I
an
jinxed it.
alcohol addiction. Starts quitting everything, gets in depression. His girlfriend breaks up with him.
Yeah,
Damn.
All the worst things just so he doesn't become a tier one.
Yeah, there
but
are
yeah,
lots of.
bad consumer. I think that's the other up and coming player who
Mm,
I think will
I can
really
name a couple
show.
more that I watch out to. It was like on YGGC, it's Ghost Luke. It's pretty cracked.
But I find that he performs really well.
Uh,
He I'd say it's Ghost Luke and Garrett Turbo on YGGC.
Garrett, oh yeah, Garrett is pretty good. Also,
Both
the
pretty good.
XXV Phantoms also have a pretty good player.
G4X on XXV Phantoms.
G4X. Okay, I haven't
He
heard
he
the name,
he
but
always goes positive in every game they play, and they always lose the games. I don't think they've won an actual game they played.
oh, I
So
see. Okay.
yeah, that's another shout out.
If only we had him on pass, he'd probably perform so much better. Because like instead of being on XXV Phantoms, not trying to talk shit, but yes.
Oh, I don't know.
um,
I don't know. I think he has. I think if he starts off in a team which is struggling, I think that's probably the best way for someone to start off with. To be
Yeah,
honest.
you get showcased better at that point. People actually recognize, wait, that guy's kind of good because he's carrying his not so good team, even
Yeah,
though
and it
they
also
won them.
puts you in a position where it's almost like a hazing sort of strategy where you start off in a I guess in a more difficult team, and so it makes all the other teams much easier to work with.
I like how you went like around like not saying that they're a bad team. That you said a more difficult team.
Well, that's how I see it. It's like I don't want to call teams bad because it's just that like, teams can be worse than other teams, but I'm
yeah.
not gonna be calling a team bad because they just
There's
have.
nothing. The thing is, like when I call a team bad, like there's nothing wrong with being bad boys. Like not everyone can be a winner in these
I
kind of
mean,
games.
even I can consider what a bad team is, and I
Well,
can kind of shit talk, but I wasn't that as well. Like I wasn't in the idea of in a bad team, you know.
You're still the worst player
well,
I've played
it's
with,
something
so
I'd say
What?
in the past in the past there's been a lot of teams which a lot of people considered bad, but they climbed up to become some of the strongest teams that they were at the time. So
yeah, which
Like
is
Toes is
AZ. AZ at first,
he's
they
had, yeah.
were like from what I've heard, AZ were absolutely horrible. Like they, no, I mean maybe not, but like they were bad, and they won season 11,
Yeah, and
and
like it's a lot of
they have a decent roster right now.
yeah, like yeah, AZ is a good example of that where they started off. I guess I know Spencer. He started the team off mostly with a lot of lesser known players, and it kind of struggled throughout the previous seasons in CPFO. But in season 11, that's when it really shined because they picked up a lot of good players. They had a lot of strategies going, as far as I know. So they had Nolan, they had Edward,
Luminous.
a lot of
No,
people
wait,
paid
yeah,
off
they
as
did.
well.
I think they had Luminous.
I think yeah, they had Luminous as well. Luminous, I think Andre, maybe no,
Yeah, they all. If there's Nolan, then there's Andre as well, of course.
usually yeah.
I
And
mean,
there's
I've
also
never
been other
seen.
teams like, for example, Toes. Toes back in season one was probably the biggest meme team in
Yeah, they
all of that
were.
season. Um, season one Toes. They actually, if you didn't know, it was John. They had Californications. They had they also had Luminary at the time, who he wasn't actually really good back in season one. They knew like he was known more as Janet Janet Let Me Smash. That was his username. But they were a meme team, and they did not perform well in CPFO. It wasn't until season three and season four where the team started rising.
yeah. Um, so if you're a minor team listening to this, don't disband if you do bad in like minors. You can still improve
Come
after
the
both.
debaters.
The biggest, the best trait I'd say in a team for any team in this game is having grit. So having grit as in being able to continue driving forward even if you're struggling. A lot of teams, a lot of teams that I've witnessed, they give up after losing after losing a tough match or uh, going through difficulties. Our team ourselves, like Pravda, we kind of went through the same thing, which eventually we couldn't really continue forward. But I'd say that's the biggest and best trait you can have as a team member and as a team in general. Just having grit to continue driving forward and continue, and no matter through the thick or thin, just continue to work forward and improve.
Yeah, well, I think we're pretty much done on this topic.
All right,
From one question, we just go to literally every other questions in existence.
got all the general
So
questions.
let's already go to another team. Yeah, another team to another question. Um, which team do you have the most fun in?
Hmm. Um, I'd say the team I had the most fun in. It's a very close tie between Elite Toes and Pravda. So
Okay.
Why is
Pravda,
that?
which was season one, they were an SEL team in season one, which I ran with Suzuka. Um, they're much more like a family to me. We like even though we didn't make it through qualifiers as a team. We spent a lot of time together, just not really doing stuff as a team, but more of like a family. We kind of did different things together. We talked. We we just had a really enjoyable time outside of just an immediate comp team, and that's something which I don't. That's something which I haven't really experienced much of in all the other teams I've been on, and it's something which I really enjoyed.
Well, that's good to
Okay.
know.
Hmm.
Um, okay, I just took Robo's question by accident. So Robo, you can go into the culprits questions.
Okay.
Um, go for the first one.
We don't use a script, by the way.
No, we don't.
So, are you retired from competitive now?
That's a good question. I don't actually know. Um, I'd say I'm still around the community.
Hmm.
I I feel like I'm not very involved as much anymore, and that's because I've been pretty busy with stuff going on right now. But I'm not really in season one, but season two maybe I'll be coming back and playing, but I don't really know quite yet.
Will you coach a lesser good team? Like, be the leader? Like, join a team? Like, what Dangnam
Um,
did, basically.
Maybe I'm not quite sure. I have been helping out some other teams with just giving advice and just helping them build up their
Bro,
strategies.
bro,
But
where have you been for past, man?
Bro,
I'm
we
like I'm a
probably
lost
need a little bit of help.
I'm like a lost puppy. I have no idea what to do. No one's telling me anything. The old
well,
gens are asking me questions. I'm the new
How
gen
do
here,
you aim?
boys.
How do you aim and shoot at the same time?
hey, I
Info.
mean, like you're always welcome to like send me a message or DM me, and I'll be glad to help.
I might actually after this. Not gonna lie, but
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I know Batisma, you've asked me a few questions about joining pass and such. I don't know if I can commit myself to that yet, but I'm always willing to lend some advice or some help if you need it.
wait, Mod, who did you not
Almost.
ask to join pass at this point? Jesus Christ,
Uh,
he has like every old gen in the
guys,
entire planet.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
So let's say you do not play in season two. Would you say you enjoyed your time in competitive overall?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Through even though there's been a lot of rough patches in the community, but I've as a whole I've really enjoyed it. Like just the people I've met, uh, the moments I've had, and just the time spent really helping out and building the league to where it was. It wasn't me. It wasn't just me. There was many other people who really got it to where it was. I was just a small part of it, I'd say. But uh, there's a lot more people in the league who put in much more effort and do much more than what I do.
Right.
And
Well,
overall, that makes me really happy to be a part of the community.
well, that's good. So, did you like your time in competitive since you're kind of retired right now?
I already
Or-
asked that question, Mod. I literally
Oh,
just asked
That's
the
yeah, you
what he
question.
just
Oh
did.
my god.
asked.
Mod, are
Fuck,
you listening?
no, I'm listening. Okay, I'm just half here. All right. What
He's
I
busy,
truly
he's busy
said,
playing
I
Smash right
said
now.
what I truly said. You guys didn't understand correctly. I said, I said, what was your best memory in comp? That's what I truly said. You guys need to get your
Oh,
ears
I see.
checked.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we must have misheard you there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
totally what you
you
said.
did. Yeah, because I always listen.
I guess my best, my favorite moment in comp, I guess, I think is actually on recording too. Not the teams, not the actual like team VC, but the match where it happened. But that was in season 4, season 4 Elite Toes versus PR. It was the last match. It was Rivad. I think it was either kill confirmed or team deathmatch. But this was the final match, which decided Toes as the season winners, and we
Oh
actually
shit.
won by it was either 1 or 2 points. Like it was a really close. It was a really close series, and I can remember pretty clearly how John was yelling at everyone to play very carefully, play it safe, because we were ahead by just 1 point, and that was the match decider.
Damn.
So
But
you played that?
yeah, I was playing that round, and who did we have? I can't remember who was playing that I guess that round, but I know in the
There
match we
was
had a lot
probably
of.
Forest as well.
I don't even know if Forrest was in the team at that time. I don't think he was. I
I
can't
mean,
remember.
he did win the season 4. So
I think so. I think he was there. I can't. I have to look through the recording again. I actually have it here.
okay.
If you're interested,
Well,
I'll just drop it in.
we'll let you do that.
Yeah, if you're interested, I'll drop it in the chat. But we had our top roster going in, and I'd say that was probably the best moment I had in comp. It was just the intensity and just the overall joy of just finally winning a
Oh, yeah,
season.
I have a good idea of a question. So, since Wintow is like Forest, I want to ask you questions that we asked Forest about Toe's members. So,
Okay.
first, what do you think of Empress?
Empress, I never really got to know her too well. She was in the team. She was, I guess, our designated LNG player. She played it really well. She had a passive play style with the LMG, which allowed her to maintain like really good scores in KDR. But we never really talked too much. I'm pretty chill with her, but again, she knew much more. She knew other people in the team much more than she knew me, like John, Forrest, and those people. So I'm not quite sure.
All right, well, what about Forest? Let's put it like that.
Forrest, we had to talk about this a bit earlier before the recording and the podcast, but uh, Forrest he likes to bug me a lot about not performing too well the next season after season 4, season 5, and yeah, he likes to tease me about that. I don't really mind, but uh, I know he likes to troll a lot. I don't have an issue with him, and I know he doesn't have an issue with me, but he's a chill guy.
Yeah, he is. So, what about, let's say, um, I don't really real tech since he wasn't Toes, like to win the season.
Oh yeah, Realtek. Yeah. Um, Realtek at the time, I think he was a ref for CPFO. I think so. And then he was looking for another team, and so uh, I think he approached either. I think he might have approached me for joining Toes, and I can't remember. I can't remember the exact details, but yeah, Real Tech. He performed pretty well during the season too.
All right.
I didn't
Well,
I didn't get to talk to him too much, but from my discussions with him, he was pretty he was a pretty chill and serious guy at the time. Uh,
oh,
we didn't talk
what
too
about
much.
Mir?
Oh, Mur has always been Mur has always been the I'd say the more positive guy of the team.
Did you talk to Mir? Like, because I've heard he didn't talk a lot.
Yeah, back in season 3 and season 4, he didn't really talk much in like VCs. It wasn't until the later seasons where he started talking much more, but he was always pretty positive in chat. And talking to him after the seasons, I still talk to him nowadays. He's he's a funny guy, and he he's definitely one of the more wholesome people in the community.
Yeah, I've spoken to Mir when I was in John's server, and Mir's really nice. Like, it's
Yeah,
probably because he's not the he. It's funny how Mir wasn't Toes, even though he's like the complete opposite of literally every Toes members.
yeah. Well, I'd say like a lot of members in Toes were individually not toxic. They're really nice. They're nice people. It's just that's the time during the time in that environment. Like there was a lot of rivalries going on back in like season 3 and season 4. Toes had a big rivalry with uh, SG, so Spectral Garrison,
Yeah,
and it just kind of accumulated what into like sort of team versus team toxicity. But yeah,
I
I'd
see.
say Murray was definitely he was definitely he definitely stood out in the team as a very positive guy.
All right. Well, let's see. What about you? Okay. What about
Me,
Dewi? Yeah. What
well,
do you think of yourself?
well, not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm the best. No, I'm kidding. No. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about myself. Everyone has their own impressions of me, and I think I'll just leave it to their interpretation of
You're a
who I
nice
am.
guy. I bet everyone thinks that. So.
Wow.
That's generally
Robo's
what I hear.
already flirting.
Oh,
Oh,
but
I have a
no.
girlfriend. No.
That doesn't hold you from doing that anyways.
True. Um,
I
So
don't
yeah,
know.
what about Lance? What do you think of Lance?
Oh my goodness, Lance. Oh boy, Lance was he was one of the funniest guys I've played with. Like the guy was just he was ecstatic. He was an eccentric one. So um I have a few videos of him like screaming in VCs just because it's
Yeah, he did
oh
that
my
with
goodness.
us as well.
so,
During
And
a
those are the
stream, he
stories.
just
so
started screaming.
I want to tell everyone a story. Like, so Lance joined Pass, and I was like talking in like the competitive chat, and he looked very serious in the chat. I was like expecting like a very serious and
Yeah.
not loud guy, and then he joins the YGGC scrim where he played YGGC, and oh my god, he's Deagle only screaming his lungs off, talking about how his headshots were missing, even though he was right on.
So
Uh,
funny.
and
he
no
has a
one could play properly because the guy was just screaming so much. It's really funny though.
he has a record for screaming GCs, but
I mean, I think
he was
he's pretty
honestly
much
so
like
funny.
no. Lance, okay, the difference between Lance and Forrest, Lance normally he kind of speaks normally. Like when we speak, he's normal, but in a game, he screams so hard. Unlike Forrest, it's the complete opposite. In game, he's super serious. Like he doesn't
He
scream
keeps
at
close
all.
and stuff, yeah.
And outside, he just shouts he just shouts like there is no tomorrow. So it's funny to see like those opposites.
I can't imagine what a team with both of them would look like in like voice chat.
Yeah,
Never no rest at all.
yep. And uh, I'd say Lance was Lance was the he was the he was the biggest cheerleader in the team in terms of just being the loudest and also the funniest.
Mm.
Okay, well, this is silence. So let's go to the next question. Um, oh wait, actually,
Sure.
I'm gonna ask one more person. Um, I've heard a lot of, I mean, I've heard some things about Dewi. Mind telling us what you think of Dewi?
Who, sorry?
Like I've heard a lot of stuff about Dewi, so mind telling us a little bit about him?
I'm not quite sure who you mean. Dairy? Who?
Dewi, ex Dewi.
Dewey. Oh, Dewey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's how you say it. Oops. Okay,
Yeah,
let's do
Dewey.
it again. What do you think of Dewi? Dewey. Yeah. What do you think of him?
Dewey, he's definitely one of the one of the other funny guys I've met in the community. He gets serious in comp games back when he was playing, but I've been playing with him ever on like periodically on like other games. So we have our own sort of separate friend group, which I kind of hang out with him in. We've been playing a bit of Paladins and just other sorts of things, but uh, he's a very personable and social guy, and I enjoy playing with him. He's uh, he's down to earth, but uh, he's also a really funny guy.
All right, well, let's go to another question now. I'll be asking this one.
Okay.
Uh, so was Toes as toxic as it is now?
Um, I would say yes to a degree. Yes, but in a different way. So back in the old seasons, Toes, the common perception towards Toes was that it was toxic, and I can agree with that to some degree. And that was mostly because of all the rivalry between all the other teams, which I think I mentioned before. Um, Toes had a lot of sort of personal drama with different members in SG. Um, there was some issues between people in PR and Toes. A lot of the top teams kind of had it out for each other. But moving on to the later seasons, I find that kind of changed with the with I guess it's mostly because I wasn't as involved with Toes at the in the later seasons, but it seemed it kind of moved towards a more criticism towards the league as well as like how things are run, and a lot of those points I can understand, but that general toxicity that's always been a bit prevalent, as much as I wish it wasn't, as much as I wish it wasn't there.
All right, so why did you still stay in Toes then, despite if you didn't really like the toxicity that much?
But don't get me wrong, like I didn't like the toxicity, but I really liked the people in it. Like Bombastic, Diesel, John. Like I got to know them really well, and we really we really played well with each other. There's a lot of other people in the Toad roster who I haven't mentioned, but that was definitely one of the most coordinated teams I played with, and that's what kind of kept me with the team was that we felt more like a team rather than just a group of individuals playing.
All right, I'll be asking another question, one more question before Robo can take it. Um, so Forrest told us about you underperforming and laughing at you. Mind explaining us what happened?
Oh, did I mention it before? I don't remember.
You
Before
did,
the
but not
podcast.
completely. You
Oh,
did, but not like fully what happened. Just that Forrest like
oh, right.
laughed
So
at you.
yeah, so that was I think what he's referring to is season five. So season five was that was Toes versus SBR, and uh, we were playing our finals, and I wasn't having a great day that day, so I ended up playing pretty poorly, in my opinion. And yeah, Forrest kind of bugs me for that. uh, he kind of bugs me for that nowadays. But like we both know it's just jokes. Like I know he likes to tease me about it, but I don't mind.
All right. Well, Robo can ask a question now.
So, Culprits, when did you start doing YouTube stuff?
I started about over a year ago. I mostly just did it as something for me personally, just so I can see kind of like how I was playing, how I can improve,
Ah,
and
yeah.
just kind of like seeing where I kind of developed from there. And then
Mm.
eventually, people started watching and started leaving comments, just kind of like, oh hey, like you should do more of this, or I'm kind of interested to see how you play on this. And that's sort of where my channel started off as. I just kind of did recordings of me playing like rounds and such. I did a bit of O's. And then eventually, people started really liking how I played and kind of like were interested in seeing how I played. And so that's when I started doing a bit of like reg movies and just a bit of like montages. I don't do very heavy editing on it. I do spend a lot of time on it though, but not really heavy edits on it. But I kind of do it as a pastime, and because people want it, because there's people out there who are just interested in watching it, and so
You have a lot of views per video. Um,
yeah, I guess so.
yeah,
I
like
mean,
it goes from like 500 sometimes. It's like pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
900 on this one. I saw 1.2k on another one. It's
Oh, I
pretty.
think I know which one you're talking about. That was a gameplay. But yeah, I mean, people watch it, they enjoy it, and if they're enjoying it and they're loving it, or if they're loving it and they're watching, then then I kind of just kind of do it as a hobby now.
Mm.
They like it, and so I provide it.
Well, I'll make
All right.
sure to
Well, that's
sub
good to
to
know.
you.
Thank you. Subtle plug here. Subtle plug. You can follow me on youtube.com/noob007100.
Yeah. What about that
Don't tell
song?
me.
Yeah.
Don't
What
tell
about
me.
podcast? You can also plug it. Maybe.
Yeah,
Oh
we'll
yeah.
put it
Go
in
ahead.
the description. We'll put it in the
Yeah,
description.
I'll go ahead. Go ahead and advertise this podcast as well when I can.
Okay,
Um,
nice.
I don't really have a video planned yet, but I think I'll just drop it in my discussions on YouTube.
Hmm, that'd be epic.
If
Thank
people
you.
go, if people watch discussions,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but
it's
I
a
think
thing you
I'll
need
try
to think
linking it
about.
in a video next time I post one.
Oh,
Either
yeah, that
way,
would be
it's really
helpful.
nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, we need as much as we can because like we get 100 views, but like we have 30 subscribers, so like a third of the people who watch us don't subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's just how it be sometimes. Like you have a
yeah,
lot of
and
viewers.
that's kind of annoying because it makes us grow like more slowly. Because if people would subscribe, more people would probably see it. So that's
Subtle
why.
nudge, subtle passive aggressive nod
Yeah,
to
that was
subscribing.
very. Yeah, that was very. Like, what's the dude? My English vocabulary is just out the window today. I just keep forgetting words. I should just
Don't worry.
start speaking Dutch from now on. I just don't know English anymore. So.
You're gonna like
Dutch and
later
put
on in this
fucking
podcast, you're
description.
gonna ask me
Like,
questions in Dutch, and I'm just gonna be like sitting here like, what am I supposed to talk about?
Oh, talking about Dutch, we should do like a joke
should I
episode
start
because
learning Dutch?
we have 5 Dutch members. We should do like a
Yeah,
Dutch
we have
only episode.
Lance, Lightning, Robo, Joe. Wait, who else already?
Kotzi, Ibekens is also Dutch.
Wait, he's Dutch?
Yeah,
Isn't he like from somewhere else?
I, I'm pretty sure he was talking Dutch at
So,
some point. So I hope so. I
so are you
think he's
telling me
Dutch.
that Pass is the Dutch team of the league?
Yeah, we're changing to PFNL instead of Pass, boys. Next
Yeah,
season.
because we have like the Brazil team, we have like FBR, and then now we have Pass, the Dutch team.
Brazil. But there's a difference between Brazil
Uh,
and Dutch.
yeah, and they're actually good. Wait, what?
Yeah, they can.
Damn.
I
And they
love my
also
boys.
have better internet, of course.
I'm on about. I was on about Brazil, but all right, never mind. Move on.
I'll try to believe what you say.
So culprits. You're gonna join PASS, right? I'm joking.
Yeah, you're gonna join Pass, right?
I
Right?
don't know. I'll-
Hey, buddy, we've known each other for
I
like
know, I
one
know, I
season,
know.
you know?
If
I
you're
don't know.
Really?
I
worrying
don't
about
Forget
know.
on pass?
Mutisma, like Mutisma's retired now, so.
Oh,
Retired.
well,
What?
that changes things. But I
Oh,
don't know.
retired? Okay, yeah, I'm joining.
I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be playing season 2 yet, but I'll have to
Mm.
see. I'll have to see where it goes.
I mean, I'll probably play season 2, just not for pass. Unless, pass gets Zach, like maybe my plans
Oh, the
could
pressure's on. The
change.
pressure's on. You're gonna only start the team if I join, huh?
Maybe. All right, well, okay, let me just ask another question then. So, since Pravda disbanded, and you said you kind of retired for this season and maybe next season, why? Like, are you retiring?
Well, I think there's a few reasons. There's a few reasons why. Um, I'd say the biggest reason is because I've just been getting way too busy with life. So I've come to the point
Understandable.
where I need to focus a lot more on my full-time job. And so it's kind of taken away from what I can contribute in the community and being able to lead a team, and let alone play. And so there's that sort of restriction that I have. And also I feel like my peak has kind of come to an end where I'm not performing as well as I feel like I used to. And I think it's about time that we
Don't
have
perform bad. So,
well,
I don't know
I don't think
why
I
you think
perform like personally
what?
I feel like I don't perform bad, but I feel like I could perform better. And uh, I think I think it's come to that time where we have some of the newer players take over and really sort of evolve within the community.
Well, you should join a newer team and teach them.
Yeah, maybe help foster that, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well, we could see. Because, PAS still has many roster slots, free,
Just be quiet. Move on.
you know. But I mean, it is understandable. That's also one of the reasons why Nico left as well, because life,
Yeah, it
like
gets. I feel like it
jobs,
gets to us.
people grow up, we don't stay teenagers for our entire lives, you know. As much as we would like to, we can't.
I like how you're talking like you're like 20, but meanwhile you're
No, no,
50.
no, but like
Mad.
I mean, like, Nico has found a pretty good job now. He's like video game programmer.
Oh,
Like
that's
it's not
I
nice.
like
heard. Yeah, he
it's
invited me.
not like you're gonna quit. You're gonna focus more onto Lego shooting games than an actual really good job that a lot of people would love to have.
Is he contracted to a company doing that on? Or is he like
Yeah, he made a
freelance?
game.
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah. He's invited me to a Discord that he was helping with development on. Um, that's that's something which I was also interested in pursuing a career in, like game designing.
Game development.
But
Okay.
no, like it, the way life went, I'm kind of moving towards a more business aspect now. But yeah, that's like good on him.
Oh yeah. Another question: what do you do like in life, since you have a job now, I believe?
Work, game, sleep.
What?
No, work, game, sleep. But no,
Oh,
no, no.
we're game Steve. Okay.
With the whole pandemic, there's not much I can do nowadays. But uh, a lot of the times it's going to work. I work as a project coordinator at a mechanical firm. So we have a lot of big construction projects that we're working on, and that's one of my job. And that's kind of like my job is to like deal with communications and documents and all that. But that's what I do as a job. And outside of that, I still get on Discord. I still
Also, a
play.
quick thing to add, like about you, is that I feel like you work so much now. You also start speaking in email because when you've spoken to me once, you were like basically talking to me like on an email.
Yeah, that's a bit of a force of habit for me. Like I
Do
I
you
deal with a
Yeah.
lot
mean
of emails, but it's also a bit more of a professional side of things. Like it's just kind of like how I'd like to work with others on a more professional basis.
Yeah, that's also understandable because like if I were to also like write emails all day long, I'd probably do the same thing as you. I mean, I don't know if you write emails all day long, but.
That's a good interpretation of it. Yeah, I do send a lot of emails.
Oh, well, I guess I'm right. I mean, I don't remember the last time I wasn't right. Okay, let's cut that.
Okay, let's not toot your own horn here.
When you weren't right. Let me think. I'm joking.
Yeah, when was the last time I was wrong? I do not know. I'm not banned in SEL, so I don't know when I was wrong.
Number one wrong thing. To be fair, I think because you got banned, you finished because you can't play anymore. You finished the season going positive, bro. It's probably the only
Yeah, I
season you've
know.
ever gone
I
positive in.
just look better at the game, even though everyone knows I suck
Well,
ass.
you gotta quit while you're ahead. Sometimes.
You've got to do
Yeah.
Nico Rosberg for my fellow
I mean,
F1.
the worst part is that the two other matches are like bad teams. So my KDR would have been probably better. Plus, I wasn't a bad day, you know? So,
Yeah.
I like how you just
yeah.
called like the two teams we played bad. So mean, man.
No, I mean like XXG Phantoms, Ala Gaming, game gamers.
Wow. Okay, there you go. He's calling out all the teams here. Here we
You're
go with the
forgetting
road to
I
finish.
mean,
collateral. We play
I
collateral as well.
meant note that this team, that other team, and you know that team as well. Yeah, you know those teams. Yeah, not gonna say names, just those teams.
Yep.
Not gonna say them in order either.
So
Right.
culprits, you're kind of keeping up with SEO ish, but
Yep. I check in every now and then, and I
mm,
still help out with the decision making and
we've
just
we've talked
yeah.
a lot about SEO. What like the one thing you want to see more focus on for like season two, or like even now for the league?
Um.
Except toxicity
Well,
and
yeah.
training.
There's toxicity. I feel like that's something which we're always gonna have to work on, just
Definitely,
moving
sure,
forward.
yeah.
I'd say, I guess, specifically for season two, I think one thing that we should really focus on is, I guess, our communication, our staff communication. So making sure that everything is clear for the participants and the players. So I know one issue that we've had was making clear rules.
Oh yeah, for
I don't know
sure.
if that's partially on our side as well, uh, where a lot of the rules, there's a few things which we omit in the rules, which is it's unintentional. It's like it's just something which we just ended up not thinking of, and that's something which I think we could really improve on moving forward. Is that we need to make very clear rules on what's banned, what's not banned, and how things are supposed to play out.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I would say, and if I was in your place, would be team balancing, like
Oh,
severe team balancing. Because right now, it's gang or chaos. Like all the other teams are like, who are they?
That's
You
true,
know?
yeah. I mean,
Because they don't
and it's
stand out. Like
I feel like
they,
that's
they, they
more on the players than whatever the league can do, in my
I mean,
opinion.
I mean,
if I would be them, I would put like after season one, like every like rating over 80 would have a maximum on the team. Like basically, if a
Uh,
player has an 80 rating or something like that, because or else all of the teams it's gonna be like gang and chaos again. Like chaos against the third best team to me, like Team Nuts went 2-0,
there's
and they had
there's a lot
Oscar. You
there's
know?
a lot which we can discuss on that. It's like the whole season, all of CPFO in general, like all those seasons together. That's how much like we can go on a discussion for about a year on that because CPFO is a good example of the struggles in
Yeah,
trying to team balance and whether and what's the best strategy on balancing teams.
the thing is,
Because
like, I've never heard of like an e-sport or even a sport that like, okay, guys, you have too many good players. Stop this. Like, what?
yeah,
Like,
and that's
you're
sort of
gonna stack the best players because you want to win, in my opinion. Right?
I mean,
the approach
the
which I
thing
see
is
FPL
that
going towards.
esports, they have an actual prize and money, while this is in-game credits for a Lego game. You know?
Hey, bro,
True,
I'm gonna
yeah, but
spend it on cases. Like, leave me alone.
that's true, but
Cases are more important than my life savings.
True.
but yeah, like there's been a lot of attempts to balance teams in throughout CPFO and all of the other leagues, and in my opinion, I feel like the best way to approach it is to just let it play out, because
Yeah.
we can't just limit teams on how good they can be. Like,
The
I mean, there's
best
always
way
gonna
to fix this, real quick, the best way to fix this is doing the idea where we're on, and like that some old gens go to like newer teams to make them better, and a couple of those newer team players will be really good maybe, and then more and more competition comes from that naturally. So you don't have to like do like you don't have
yeah,
to split gang apart to make this thing balanced.
yeah, because that's what happened in CPFO season 9 or 10. Gang was actually split up into they had a lot of their members split up into other teams. I was one of them as well. So from Gang, I moved over to I think it was SDX, and then we had Mur and uh, I. It was either Free Divine. No, it wasn't Free Divine, but Mur and Vanguard, they moved over to other teams as well.
Okay.
But I don't think that. But in my opinion, I don't think that's the best approach to go about it. Like, I find it's a bit of a bandage approach, like
No, I
splitting up
agree.
the
Yeah.
splitting up the best players on a team, or well, not the best players, but good players on a team, and putting them to lesser teams so that they can improve. That's a bit of a bandage situation. I think the best way we can approach this is to really find a way to get these other lower teams up to a position where they can compete, rather than
Mm.
taking the top teams and, I guess, making them worse
I
by
guess
putting their
in a
players.
way, Gang's already doing that because isn't Cartel their academy team?
Well, yes and no. Cartel came about from Gang, but Cartel is run as a separate team.
Okay. Because I still hear that Cartel shows up in like gang practice and stuff, and then they learn from those players. So that's what I've heard at least.
Yep,
So
yep. They're still connected in that
Cartel,
sense.
Cartel are like good new gens, unlike any other like
ah
minor
yes, my
teams.
favorite new gen, Bedtime.
Oh yeah, Bedtime's definitely not a new gen. He's been around
That's
for
a
a while.
good point, but still.
I'm just joking,
It's that,
right?
if you see Pika, he's a new gen, and I mean he's not that bad.
Oh,
If
you
you
know what?
look
That
at,
also reminds me. Yeah, Cartel has a lot of good new gens too. Like, the next person I can think of as a really good new gen would be Wait, or people know him as Nightlife or such.
oh yeah,
But yeah, like Nightlife plays really well. Like, if you've seen Nightlife play in like PFMM and such, I think Cartel picking up Nightlife was a really good idea.
What would you think of if they wanted to pick up a guy called Robo at some point? What do you think of that move?
I don't know.
yeah, just Robo, not
I think you'd
Robodenic,
have
of
to
course.
talk to the team reps about that one, but I think that'd be a pretty interesting pickup.
Yeah, that was never in the works, right, boys? Never. Didn't say no to Cartel or anything to stay with this pass. Anyway,
Well, like,
um,
sometimes you find teams which you vibe with better, and
hmm,
that's
definitely.
usually.
For me, I want to be competitive, but like I don't really care about being in the best team. It's more like I'd rather be competitive but still have fun and then lose than be competitive and have everyone be toxic and win, for example. So
Yeah, and that's sort of my sentiment too. That's what I kind of like in a team, is a team that plays to have fun, but not necessarily like just having fun and like not caring to win, but a team which can have fun while winning.
definitely, I agree. Pass isn't that team. Well, anyway, let's move on.
Oh my goodness! Wow, we're really slagging on a pass here.
Dude, how are you able to see like the channels like Team Rep and stuff? My two assigned team
Yeah,
reps keep trash talking my own team. It's like, hello, boys.
yeah. Well,
I have
sometimes
to
you gotta
keep
have
scolding them like, hello, please don't, please.
sometimes you gotta have a bit of banter in the team. But I don't know how big how far it goes in terms of that for pass.
We're very new gen spheres, but we're very scrambled team at the moment, boys. So if we do end up
No,
being
we are
united
super
because it's a
organized. Everyone like, and no one. There's no hate in this team. I've
I
never
see.
seen 1 ounce of
I'm
hate.
cutting this out. I don't care. I'm not.
You got it. It's out. It's out. No one's gonna hear this.
Um, any more things you want to add, Culprits? Or is that it?
Um, I guess not really, but if I can add anything, thank you for having me on the podcast. Actually, I really
No
I really
problem.
enjoyed this talk. It really brings back a lot of memories and a lot of the my experience in the comp community.
Starts
That's what it's
crying.
for.
Just starts crying.
Thanks for
A
coming
lot
on.
of memories.
Thanks for coming
Just
on.
fucking mental
Yep,
breakdown on pass. Clickbait.
yep. I'm breaking down, guys. I'm like it's the drama's coming out.
I would make like a separate clip called "Culprits Breakdown on Podcasts" and like
Hope it's breaks
million
down
views.
podcast, not a clickbait.
Pass, we never clickbait. And
Yeah.
that's true.
My hopes with
What?
this
Why do we?
podcast
Why
in
do we
general, my hopes with
clickbait?
this podcast in general is that Newgens get to learn about stuff they wouldn't know. Because I'll be honest, Culprit, I had no idea who you were. Maud was like, "We're doing a
Oh, that's
podcast with Culprits," and I went, "Who?" And so I was
yeah, I haven't been very active
no,
nowadays,
it's
but
not that. It's not that you're like, "Oh, no one knows you," but it's more like for Newgens, it's nice to know. You know, it's like, "Oh, this guy did that," and
yeah,
he
it's
does.
it's nice to know a bit of the history of comp, and
Definitely,
it
definitely.
really puts into context how
Hopefully
we got.
that'll make New Gen stay and not quit, like we were talking about before. Please stay, boys.
That's my biggest hope. I want to make sure. I really want to make sure that the comp league is
Also,
welcoming
staff
open
communication. By the way.
and communication. Yes.
Yeah, staff. If you
And
hear
also
this,
unban
communication.
Motisma, please.
Yeah, unban me, please.
He's not even a good player. Let him play. Who cares?
What do you
Oh, I
mean
mean
I'm not a good player? I'm
that's
literally
not so
carry
much
of
my call.
pass.
That's not really my call, but
I'm not
I
telling
wish
you.
you
I'm
best
just
of luck on
telling
that.
in case someone
Yes,
listens.
Zach, you're included in this.
Oh, I'm just yep. Here we go. I'm just part of the decision now.
Staff
Yep.
listening. We have Zach at gunpoint. Release Motisma and we'll release
That
him.
was the ulterior motive behind this whole
We
podcast.
have
Hold me
hitmans
hostage.
going to his house right now. If you do not do anything, death.
All right, let's finish it up here. Thanks
Yeah,
for
let's
coming
finish
on,
him.
Culprit.
I mean, what?
Thank you for having me.
Yep. Mod, do
I
the
mean,
ending
no
thing.
problem, you know? Thank you for coming because we didn't have any more content.
Oh,
We need
I'm your
content, you
content
know?
provider now. Yeah, I'm just here for your content,
Yeah,
your
we're just
reviews.
milking you for content, nothing
Yeah,
else.
we're the
Yeah, we
subscribers.
don't really care about guys. We just care about content. Okay.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
Zach, leave,
it just
please. We don't
it be
want you.
your
We
own
only
homie,
wanted the content. Now that you don't make any content, bye.
bro.
Just banter, all mates. Okay, let's move on.
Just subscribe, or I'm gonna cry. And you don't want me to cry, right?
Bye bye,
Hold on.
everyone. Say bye
You
bye.
Goodbye.
don't want me to cry, right? You
Oh
don't want me to
no.
Oh,
cry,
I'm
right?
tears.
Right?